All right, so welcome. This is Gentle Yoga. And before we start our practice, I wanted to tell you that we're going to start, rather than focus on our breath like we usually do, today we're going to begin with some centering and focusing on connecting with the sounds around us. And then towards the end of class, before Shavasana, we're going to do a breathing exercise called the 5-finger breath. And both of these, the connecting with sound meditation and the 5-finger breath, are to help us with any anxiety we might have. Sometimes coming to our practice and trying to close our eyes and focus on our breath is hard to do. So these two practices are designed to help us center and connect in another way, an alternate way. Excuse me. So let's come to a comfortable seated position to begin. Sit up tall or on a cushion. And we're just going to take about 6 or 7 rounds of breath as we close our eyes to begin, just to find centering and just to come to our practice. With every exhale, release a little bit more into your mat and into the practice. So let's take about 3 more slow, deep, mindful breaths. And now we'll begin that connection with sound. So let's all set the intention now. May deep listening reveal a deeper richness in our lives. So we're going to begin to listen now, shift our attention from the inner sounds of our breath, our heartbeat, whatever, our thoughts, to the sounds around us. So eyes are still closed. Take a moment to pay attention to the sounds around you. Allow the sounds around you, hear them without judgment, without preference. Just allow them to be there. Whatever sounds are revealing themselves to you, they can be soft or loud, maybe pleasing sounds, maybe even annoying sounds. So just listen to each sound with deep awareness. And even hear the space between the different sounds. And allow those sounds to help you center and anchor into your space. Let's take about 4 more deep, slow, mindful breaths, connecting with the sounds, all part of our practice this morning. And then get ready to blink your eyes open. Okay, so that was just one of the 2 methods I'm going to share with you today. Before Shavasana, I'll share the 5-fingered breath with you. All right, so we connected with sound. We set that intention to let the sound fill us with awe and inspiration today. And now let's come to our physical practice, coming to rock pose to begin, just sitting up over our heels. And then taking it to the embryo pose, so letting our torso fall over our knees. And then stretch your arms back, your fingers face up, your palms face up, and your forehead down. Allow for any differences in your body today. If your forehead needs a little boost, of course, make a pillow with your hands. Otherwise, let's come to that embryo pose. And let your body just drape over your legs. Have a slouch and slump forward. Begin your Ujjayi or victorious breath, breathing through your nose only, keeping your mouth sealed. Throughout the practice, be aware of the sounds around you. Now open your mouth wide and then close it, maybe tighter. Do that one more time to release any tension in the jaw. Open your mouth wide and then close it. Roll your forehead left and right. Relax your neck. And then rock your body, maybe the whole body left and right. Come to be still now. Notice the soles of your feet. The soles of our feet are a good place to bring our attention anytime we're stressed or anxious. Take 2 more mindful breaths. Right now we're pretty passive. Our arms are pretty relaxed and passive. Let's get a little more activity into the arms as we stretch them forward now. So we're almost in an extended child's pose. You can adjust your knees wider if that feels better, or keep them where they are. And just activate your arms, your fingertips, press into the ground with your fingertips. Lengthen the breath from the fingers down to the heels. Now we're going to thread the needle. So we're going to start by bending the left arm and then threading it under the right. And we're going to allow 4 breaths here. And now we'll bring the arm back and switch sides, bend the right arm, thread it under the left. Good, and then bring the arms forward. All right, let's claw the mat with our fingers. That means we're up onto our fingertips. Claw it like a cat clawing the mat. And then walk your hands or your claws over to the right side, and we'll allow 4 breaths there. Arms walked over to the right. You can reach or you can relax, up to you. Good, then we'll claw our way back to the middle and on over to the left. Just getting into the side body. I talked about the side body on Thursday and Saturday, so might as well be aware of it here today again too. And gently come all the way back. And let's come up to tabletop position. So let's build a nice foundation in tabletop. Spread your fingers, wrists under your shoulders, hips are above your knees. And let's just dip our hips from side to side. It should feel pretty good for all of us, hopefully. Stop and assess yourself if something doesn't feel good, and just honor that, because everything you're doing today is for yourself. What feels good to you should feel good to you. Maybe it feels good to me, but not to you. So and keep us, taking stock of what you're feeling today. Next time you let your hips fall to the right, enjoy the stretch and turn to look over your left shoulder. We'll allow a few breaths here. Then back to center, allow your hips to dip to the left and look over your right shoulder. Then we're going back to center again and lining ourselves up for tabletop again. And this time we're going to lift the right knee and circle it out. It can either point straight ahead or out to the right. So lose yourself in the movement of that circle. Going in one direction might just feel great to you. If that's the case, keep doing it that way. Or if you want to be a little do a little exploration, little more adventurous, you can try circling in the other direction too. We want to keep that motion in our hip sockets. As we get older, we want to keep that fluidity. All right, let's slow down. Now stretch out your right leg off to the right so that your right toes are right in front of your right heel. Now tuck the left toes and gently stretch your hips back. Reach your arms forward. We'll allow a few breaths here. Breathing in and out through your nose, of course. And preparing to come back to that tabletop position. All right, let's try the other side now. So again, let's just rock our hips left and right a little. And then let them fall to the left. Look over your right shoulder for a breath or two. Let them fall to the right. Look over your left shoulder for a breath or two. And then back to tabletop. We'll lift the left knee and circle it. Again, either just look down, the knee is just facing straight ahead, or you can point it out to the left. Be as adventurous as you need. Go one direction or maybe both directions of your circle. And then we'll get ready to slow down the circling and extend that left leg out. Remember, the toes are in front of the heel. Tuck your right foot and rock and roll, stretch back your hips towards your heel. Arms forward. Maybe head is on the ground, maybe it's in the air. Focus on the inner thigh space that you're making here in the left inner thigh. And slowly bring yourself all the way back up. All right, so from tabletop, let's go ahead and take a child's pose. Try not to open the knees too wide today, just a little bit. Just a different variation. So stretch your hips back, your arms forward, and be active in your breathing for a few cycles of breath. Still listening to the sounds in your space, the pleasant sounds, maybe the annoying sounds, but they're all good sounds. We're blessed to have our sense of hearing, right? All right, from this extended child's pose, we're going to slither forward. So we come up, and then we slither our head, our nose, our chin, our chest. We press down into our legs and our toes, and we come up to a pretty, doesn't have to be too high, but maybe a high cobra. And then with the exhale, we press it back. You can tuck your toes or keep them flat back to child's and just rest there a breath. We're going to do it again. We're going to slither, come up. I'm rounding, and then I'm stretching forward. You can try different ways to do it, or you can do forehead, nose, and chin, and then press up to another cobra. And then you can look over your right shoulder, your left shoulder, or move your hips if that feels good. And then you'll take it back to the child's and rest a breath. Feel the ribs expanding as you breathe in. Let's go again. Any way you can get there. I'm going to slither again, like I did the first time. So just experiment with different ways of doing it. And let your hips relax down towards the mat. Tuck your chin towards your chest. Let the back of your neck open up. It almost feels like a yawn. And then raise your head again and press slowly back to child's. So rest there a couple breaths. All right, last one. Let's slither forward or get forward, however you can do it with your body, and come up to high cobra again. And this time, let's take time to look over the right. With every exhale, let your hips sink a little more towards the floor as you look over your right shoulder. Calmly come to center, then look over your left shoulder. Relaxing the shoulders. If there's any hint of tension, you'll notice it, and then relax them. Calmly come back to center, and then all the way back to our last child's pose. Maybe the toes are tucked for this one, maybe flat. 2 breaths. All right, and then we come back up to table, tuck our toes, raise our knees, and raise our hips for downward facing dog. Take the time to place your feet hips width distance apart. Maybe lift and lower the feet in place, or any movement that feels really good to you today. It's always different. Try to refine the inverted V shape of your body. With every inhale, lengthen your spine. With every exhale, melt your heart. With the next inhale, raise your hips and your heels. And with your next exhale, straighten your left leg. With your next inhale, raise your hips and your heels. With your next exhale, bend your right leg, lower your right heel. With your next inhale, raise your hips and your heels. Now with your next exhale, lower your heels. Go again, raise your heels. And exhale, lower your heels. All right, we're gonna shake our head out. Shake it, yes. And then no. And then yes. Then we're gonna bend our legs a lot. You might even feel your stomach on your thighs. That's good. Take a few calm breaths here. Active in the arms. And then we're going to look like we're carving a line forward. Look forward and walk your feet towards your hands for forward fold position with our legs bent. And you can just hang, or you can maybe dangle by holding the opposite elbow. You can dangle in forward fold, like I'm showing, if that feels good, or you can have your arms hanging doing it, or you can just hold your legs and just be still. Plenty of options, right? Since it's early, I suggest keeping the legs bent. Good, then come to center. Now we're going to slip one hand under one foot. So left hand under the left foot. That might feel kind of funny. Just get a sense of what it feels like to stand on one hand. And maybe wiggle your toes to give your hand a little massage, the palm of your hand. Let's try the other side. So release. Now we're going to lift the right foot and slide the left hand underneath. Your legs can be bent. In fact, it should be. Maybe massage, wiggle your toes to massage the palm of your hand. Let your hand and your foot have a little conversation. All right, now we're going to try to put both hands under the feet. Legs are bent, head is dangling. You'll notice the arms are bent and elbows out to the side. Take time to see if you can access this posture. If not, maybe next week. One hand at a time, remove from the foot. And then We're going to try to come up to monkey or the halfway lift. Okay, so press the hands anywhere on the legs. It feels good according to your body. Press your hips back. Crown of the head forward. And then we're going to exhale and fold to forward fold again. Now with the inhale, we're going to press into the feet and roll up to stand. Again, once you come to standing, be aware of your feet. There's a lot of anxiety these days. We all have a lot of anxiety over what's going on. And most of us clench our jaw or feel it in our gut or our shoulders. So a good place to focus when you're feeling that way is the soles of your feet. We usually don't tense them. So focus on the feet. Now we're going to focus on moving our arms gently up and gently down. Knees are very soft, like bent. We're going to reach our arms up. I think it was you, Sue, that does this. You do this move, and don't you call it like, let's see, what do you call it? Like you're making a bed, isn't that you? Like you lift the sheet and you lower the sheet. So very slowly. Let's go 3 more. And the next time you come up, legs are still bent. Take a little twist to the right. Arms are soft. Good. Back up. And then a little soft twist to the left. We're going to go 4 more. Up to the right. Fingertips are soft. Up to the left. Go 1 more on your own. We'll gather again with the arms overhead. And then I'll turn this way, grab hold of your left wrist and take your left foot behind the right and lean to the right. You can either have your whole left foot on the ground or just the ball of your left foot on the ground. You can get in touch with the side body. Good, and back up and relax, take a break. Inhale the arms up. Now clasp or encircle the right wrist with the left, with the left fingers, and then take that right foot behind you, either all the way down or heel in the air. Lean to the left. And all the way up. Release, cactus the arms to open the chest. And then release the arms to clasp the hands and open the chest. Might feel even more of an opening. Look up. And then bend the knees to take it back to a forward fold. Clinging on to your fingers, clasping those hands. Take a breath in and a breath out. And then release your hands to the mat and step your left foot back. Drop your left knee to the ground. Toes can be flat or tucked. And come on up. Place your hands on your right thigh. And we're going to stretch the leg a little and then sink into it. So do that a couple times, stretching that right leg a little bit straighter, then dropping your hips. Gently just focusing on the sounds you hear around you and what your body feels like. Good. From here, raise your arms. Deepen your breath. And then we're going to take the right hand to our low back. Feel your low back and lean to the right. The left hand leans to the right. And look down or look up wherever you feel like. Good. And then both arms up and both hands down. Now let's roll our hips back maybe 1 or 2 or 3 times to prepare for runner's stretch or a half split. You can keep a flat back here. That might feel good with a flexed right foot. Or you can just drape your body over the right leg, and it can even be bent. Everybody find the variation that suits you. We'll go 3 more breaths. 1, 2, and 3. Take it all the way back to the lunge. Plant your hands, tuck your toes, and slide your left foot to meet your right. Good. And then we'll switch. Step your right foot, your right leg back. Let your right knee come to the floor. Inhale up, hands on that left thigh. Straighten the left leg a bit, and then sink your hips deeper. So follow along with what you're feeling. Maybe do it a few more times. Releasing any tension in the right hip flexor. And then when you're ready, sit in that lunge. Let the gravity help you. Raise your arms. And then left hand behind your back. Feel your back. Right arm leans to the left. 3 breaths. 1, 2, and 3. We come all the way back up. And with the breath out, we lower our hands, getting ready for the hamstring stretch. Stretching forward and back a few times. And then sliding back, slipping into the variation. You can keep the left foot flexed, your spine long, or you can even bend the leg a little and just let your body drape over the left knee. 3 breaths here as well. Good. And breath number 3 to take us back to the lunge. Plant your hands, step back to downward dog slowly. And again, move in a way that we did earlier, or just move in a way that feels really good to you. We're going to access the side body in our downward dog, so we're going to do that by a little twist. Step your feet together, and then as you bend your knees, turn your toes to the right. Your hips will dip left. Press away from the floor. See what that feels like, and then come back to the middle. Stretch your legs out. And then again, we'll try the second side. Bend your knees, swivel your toes towards the left. Let your hips fall towards the right. And back to the center. Step your feet out the normal distance, or hips distance, I should say. Bend your knees a lot again. Some of us might feel our stomach on our thighs. Shake out your head if you need to. And then from here, we're going to look forward and step or walk to the front of our mat again and come up monkey or halfway lift. Enjoy the stretch of your spine, and then feel yourself fold forward again and roll or press your yourself all the way up. Reach the arms all the way up again. And this time, hands to your heart. Go ahead and turn to face the long edges of your yoga mat and walk your feet out wide. We're going to point our right foot to the short edge of the mat, and we're going to bend that right knee and place your hands on your hip. And then we're going to stretch it a little straighter and then bend it. Go a few more times, accessing the deeper muscles in your right hip. And then we're just going to do one more, and then just look at your right knee as it's bent. It's right over your ankle. And we're going to start by resting our right arm right on that thigh and stretching the left arm overhead. Maybe start to look up. Maybe even close your eyes and just hear the different sounds. Open your eyes and let's come up, straighten your front leg and reverse, just reach your right arm up. Good, and then let it go. We're going to turn our feet parallel, toes pointing forward, hands on the hips. Now pivot your left foot to the short edge of the mat. Hips are open, bend and straighten your left knee. With every exhale, let gravity help you. Repeat 3 more times. And then again, the left knee is bent. Look at it. It should be right over your ankle. We're going to take the left arm rested on the thigh and reach the right arm up and overhead. So this is extended side angle pose. Some of us that don't practice it that often, we kind of collapse. Just notice if you're collapsing. And if you are, roll yourself up and open your hips and your chest. Just one more breath here, and then we'll come up. Press up, straighten that front leg, and reach your left arm up, your right arm down on your right leg. All right, excellent. Now let's release and turn the toes again. Let's swim the arms 5 times. Make space in your shoulders, in your chest. And then the next time you swim, grab hold of your fingers if you can, or just hold your hips. We're going to open our chest and then fold forward. Release your head as well as you can. And from here, take a couple breaths. Releasing your head towards the earth. Now we're going to release our hands to our ankles or our legs. Now we're going to walk our hands to the right leg or close to it anyway. It could be actually on it or on the right foot or kind of close to it, on or where you are. And if it helps you, you can bend your left knee and just access the stretch that you can. All right, let's come back to the center and then walk towards the left. It could just be a suggestion of walking to the left, or you can have your hand on the left foot, whatever you like. And again, to make it accessible, you can bend the right knee. Where do you feel and hear the breath? Try to hear the breath as well as the sounds around you. Good, and then relax, release back to the middle, hands on your hips, and we come all the way up. All right, let's walk our feet or heel toe our feet together, and we're going to take a dancer or just a quad stretch. So you can go ahead and find a chair to help you. Today I have a chair just to give you an idea what it would be like. Right hand on the chair, Bend the left knee, find the ankle. So gentle quadricep stretch. If you don't want to use the chair or wall, just reach your right arm up towards the ceiling or sky. Start by looking down, and if you can, lift your gaze, maybe even look straight ahead or even up. Play with gaze. Gaze is the direction you look. From this quadricep stretch, we're going to go ahead and release and bring that left knee up as much as possible and hug it close to you. We're going to finish with a twist. The right arm holds the leg or the wall or the chair, and the left arm stretches behind you. You might be able to turn and look left, or you might prefer just to look straight ahead. Feel the work that the standing leg is doing, the right leg. Good, and then come back to center, and let's put that left leg down. Feel the left side, feel the right side, and walk it out. If you are using the chair, just turn so that your left hand is on it. Bring your right knee up now. Right ankle behind you, hold on. Quadricep stretch, reach the left arm up or hold the chair. Notice the sounds between the breaths. That little quiet place between the inhale and the exhale. Feel the work the standing leg is doing, and then we'll slowly lower, hand to the chair or wall or wherever, and then bring the right knee in and up. Hold it with your left hand. Take your right arm behind you. You might want to just stay here looking straight ahead, or maybe turn to look over your right shoulder. All spine, crown of the head reaching, whatever you're doing, and then come back to the middle and set the right foot down. All right, if you are near a chair or a wall, you can hold on and just step your feet back. If you're not near a chair or a wall, you can come down and take a downward dog. So either the wall dog or the downward dog. I'll leave it up to you. Let's just go 2 more rounds of breath wherever you are. And then if you're at the chair or the wall, slowly come up and meet us in hands and meet us on hands and knees on the ground. And then we're going to sit back over our shins in the rock pose. All right. Some more for the upper body. Reach the right arm up and turn the palm to face behind you and bend the elbow. Let's try that again. We'll do it one more time. Grounded, unless you want to sit crisscross. So strong and steady seat. Reach the right arm up and then turn the palm behind you, bend the elbow, walk the hand down your back. Either gently press or take that left arm out and behind you and try to clasp a finger or 2 or 3. If you're tucking your chin, try to lift. Let's stay here for 3 breaths, allowing the chest to blossom and hearing the sounds between the sounds. Good job. All right, wherever you are, release and roll out. Let's try the other side. So I'm raising my left arm, turning my palm behind me. I don't know if you can see that, so it's like that, and bending my arm. Press down or take the right arm around and maybe the fingers will connect. That's something fun you can practice as long as you don't have any shoulder stuff going on. So many of us do, I know. You can also use a belt or a strap to make it a little more accessible. A couple more breaths. All right, and then let's get ready. Nice big inhale and exhale to release and roll out. Okay, from this rock pose, let's tuck the toes and take toes pose. So all 10 toes should be pressing down into the mat, heels off the mat. And get comfortable. You can either stay kind of upright with a fairly long spine, or you can walk your hands forward and maybe even open the knees out wide. Grow into a version that feels good. So maybe one of those two, or maybe something else. Maybe try to balance, hands to your heart. Toes are getting a little bit of a workout here, right? All right, last breath in toes pose. And then I want you to be safe as you come down, take your hands to the ground, maybe behind you, and release your bottom down to the mat. And let your knees open for the butterfly pose. So let your knees open and hold on to your ankles or your feet. And get nice and steady in your low body, and then lift up. Nice tall spine, crown of the head lift. All right, from here, we're just going to release the left leg all the way forward. So nothing happened to the right, just the left leg is going forward. No, don't fear, you don't have to keep the leg straight, you can bend it. And we're just going to take 4 breaths folding over it. To be very passive. You can just drape yourself over it. All right, and slowly up, back to the butterfly seat, and then just stretch the right leg out. And again, it could be bent. I'm bending it here. And you can drape your body. You can, of course, go more vigorous or not. So just take about 4 breaths. All right, and then slowly all the way up. All right, now just go ahead and extend your legs for staff pose. And press down on the legs or fingers on the ground. And turn your toes to pointed and then to flexed a couple times. And then hold them flexed and press, not press, lift your spine up out of your hips and out of your pelvis, away from the floor. Let's practice one more breath in staff pose. And then we will release and come to Sukhasana, or just an easy cross-legged pose. All right, before we come down and finish our practice, I wanted to go over that 5-finger breath with you. So I'm left-handed. You can use any hand you want. So I'm going to use my left because I'm left-handed. All right, so this is a breath to calm and focus and help you step aside from any anxiety that you might feel. Sometimes sitting here and finding your breath can cause anxiety. So this is a very relaxing, and it's like a reboot for your brain. We're going to use our pointer finger. We're going to trace with our inhale the outside of that pinky finger as we inhale. And as we exhale, we're going to go down the inside of it, nice and slow. Then with our next inhale, we're going to trace the outside of the ring finger all the way to the top and down the inside of the ring finger as we exhale. So we're bringing our mind and our fingers to our hands. It's a reboot for the brain. So the middle finger, inhale on the outside, exhale on the inside. Continue on your own, all the way to your thumb. So take your time. Now that you might be here too, now that I got to my thumb, you can reverse the whole thing starting with your thumb. You can go up the outside of your thumb as you inhale, as you exhale down the inside of your thumb. So continue doing it till you get to your pinky, and then we'll finish up. Nice and steady, nice and grounded. Good. I've finished. I don't know if everybody else has, but you can do that as many times as you need to take your mind away from whatever is giving you anxiety. All right, let's shake out our hands and come to slowly lie down on our back. Plant your feet, and let's just build a firm foundation with our knees bent. And then let's build a bridge. Start with a baby bridge and then come down. Another baby bridge and then come down. And then finally build a bridge. Any variation you'd like. Let's hold the bridge for about 4 breaths. And don't forget your glutes. Squeeze your glutes. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Release your glutes and come down very slowly, placing the spine back down on the ground. All right, we're going to slowly raise our legs, give them a shake, and then cross the left ankle over the right and hold your right thigh. Pay attention to your low back. Last breath. Release your hands and then let your arms find the ground and let your hips fall to the left with your left foot on your right knee. So we're doing an open twist. Back up. Cross the left leg over the right and give him a hug. And all the way down. All right, let's try the other side. Give your legs a shake. Cross your right ankle over your left knee. Hold your left thigh. Release your arms to the ground. And we're going to drop the legs to the right with your right foot on your left knee for that open twist. Slowly press up. Now your right leg's cross is on top of your left. Hug your knees or your ankles or your feet, whatever you like. And maybe lift your nose towards your knees. And come all the way down. Uncross your legs, give them a shake out. And end by acknowledging if there's anything else you need. If you need to do anything else, like maybe just hold your ankles, maybe a happy baby. Enjoy a few breaths in something you still need or not. And then we're taking Shavasana. Time for Shavasana. So as long as you, you know, you have a choice, you can either stretch out on the ground or maybe take legs up the wall. That's an option. As long as you're feeling comfortable, close your eyes and be aware of the space that you're resting in. Release everything, all the weight, all the care to the floor, to the ground. Let yourself anchor there for the next few minutes while we're in Shavasana. Breathe deeply in and breathe deeply out. And let the ground kind of dock or anchor into the floor, into the ground. Be aware of the space that you're in and really inhabit it. You can let go of manipulating your breath and just breathe naturally and experience the magic of Shavasana. So enjoy your time here.